Keep my name out your mouth.
Now listen up.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people.
But now it's back to the lab. So would you please listen.
Happy Festivus, everyone!
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 133rd episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast, Festivus edition. We are powered by 8bit.net and Audio Technica, and I am your not-so-humble host, Brendan White. You can find me just about everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, the whipped cream and fresh strawberries to my buttermilk pancake stack, Salim Abraham, who can be found at Salim TD, and Miss Ali Hart, who can be found, funnily enough, at Miss Ali Hart. How you doing for this one last time in 2018, you sexy sons of bitches?
Bittersweet, isn't it? The year finale.
Yeah, it's fun, and this is going to be a lot of fun, this episode.
Always is.
But I think, what do we have, like a month off from here, Brendan?
Yeah, thereabouts. I guess we should probably confirm when we're coming back. But yeah, this is the end of the third season of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We'll be back in 2019 at some stage. To be as they say, to be determined. But we're here. Festivus for the rest of us. The airing of grievances for those that don't know and may be listening to us for the very first time. So this episode's going to be a little different than our usual sort of slate of hungry podcasting delight. Instead, we're going to be talking about the negatives within the gaming industry, whether it be negative games, negative community experiences, negative things internally with 8-bit and Hungry Gamers. It's going to be a negative-fueled episode, but it's going to be fucking fantastic as well.
Way to sell it. It's going to be negative.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
It is. It's one of the episodes I look most forward to in the entire Hungry calendar. So we're here. It is Sunday, the 16th of December. Just ticked over 8 p.m. here in the Queensland, over 9 p.m. there down in the New South. But it's going to be fun. But should we lead things off with maybe just a little palate cleanser of what we've been playing this week? Anything of note that you wanted to discuss before we dive into Festivus?
I'll start first. After holding off for such a long time, I've absolutely caved and bought Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the Switch. Everyone was hyping this game up so much, and I was getting peer pressured by a lot of people to buy it. So, after saying no a bunch of times and I can just wait, I did what any normal person does and then forked out $120 to get the game and all the character packages. So, good self-control on my part.
Can I rudely interrupt and ask, did you buy the DLC packs based off the global hysteria attached to Joker from Persona coming in, or like me and maybe Dream, you couldn't really give a shit?
I care. I wouldn't say that was the major point. As a Destiny person, I have come to learn that if they're already warning you that there's going to be upcoming DLCs, just take care of it now. Just take care of it now. Don't make it a problem later. It usually gets more expensive if you pay for everything individually anyway, so it'll be a nice surprise anyway for me in the future every time I'm like, hey, I got the character. So yeah.
Especially when Master Chief is announced soon as the next character.
I disagree, Brendan.
Maybe Crash Bandicoot? I reckon he could make an appearance, especially with sort of Crash Trilogy and now Crash Team Racing announced for next year. So
I have no idea. I still find it odd to see Cloud from the Final Fantasy series in there. That makes me feel so weird.
There are a few characters in there where I'm just kind of feeling a bit out of place. I remember playing the OG Smash and it just being such a standard character lineup, and now it's just everyone and their moms is in it.
Yeah.
So far I'm enjoying it. I haven't really ventured further away from Kirby, who you kind of start off as in your adventure mode. It's fun. I like the spirits that you get to pick up along the way. There's all these different characters, different spirits that obviously have different buffs to your character and everything. So Still feeling it out. I'm a little bit impatient though, unlocking characters. That's my little grievance. I am a very impatient person, so I kind of already want to unlock characters, but it's taking its time for me. So
yeah, that's I think the running constant I've heard from people that have got the game, or even just articles and social media, is if you're playing through the campaign, the grind to unlock characters is about 12 levels of bullshit. So a lot of people, I think I've just seen that they'll just go and play local versus and sort of rinse repeat till you get a new challenger, play that match, turn the game off, turn it back on, play through, get a new challenger, and just cheese it that way.
yeah, I've heard about that cheese. Thought about it, but just not sure if I can really put that much effort into just trying to unlock a character. So, I mean, I've unlocked a few. None that I really want. Once I get Isabella, I'll be happy. But
is she going to be your main, would you say?
I want to main her only because I just want to kick everyone's ass as her. Like this cute, adorable character. I just want to friggin' own people. So, yeah, once I get her, then I'll just freaking Rocky montage it and become the best. Actually,
You
it's
know-
Karate Kid.
Brenton, you know what we need to do with you is fly you down to Sydney, because this is undoubtedly going to be on at spawn point, and we need to take on Apples.
Oh,
at
that
Smash
guy.
Brothers again. Yeah.
Man.
There was this one night, Ali, where we were out at spawn point. I don't think you were there, but Brendan and I were there, and there was this cringy dude who, he was like clearly great at the game and would just kind of sit there and just challenge everyone at it who was just there to like play casually, and would just like dominate, but then would be such a jerk about it. And then in the games that Brendan and I played with him, not that we were winning because we're amazing at it, but other people were winning, and he was getting so angry. He just would not have it. And then I think the longer the night went on and the drunker we all got, like the more obnoxious we started becoming. And I think Brendan, you thought he looked like the guys that sung.
Yeah, he looked like one of the Proclaimers.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
you kept singing, I will walk 500 miles. You just kept singing it around him. Drunk Brendan's
actually
the
sung
best
it to
Brendan.
him.
I fully expected him to try and fight me in the streets, but the fact that he peaked in high school certainly sort of led more chance of me taking that fight out as the night went on, especially. But it was so good. That Apples guy, he was a real cocksucker. But we sort of probably danced the line of being cocksuckers ourselves. Me especially, because I was goating this guy all night.
The name?
But he deserved it.
The name?
Apples.
Yeah. What are you saying his name is?
That's his gamer tag, is Apples.
Was Apples.
So you're at this is a public bar with public use, like machines and consoles, and he had his own gamer profile loaded on there. Apples. Yeah, he had his
Apples.
own name there. Yeah, he signed into his profile and stuff. Oh, I just want to... We need to find him again, Brett. I'm sure he's a nice guy now.
Nah, he still sucks.
He's probably still a cocksucker.
I bet he packs shelves of Coles, that motherfucker.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that, because, I need to go there to grab my groceries off those shelves. So
Yeah.
he's a necessary evil.
So that's the first grievance out of the way.
Yeah, didn't even plan for that one.
Didn't even write that one down.
So, Dream, are you... Because I know you've been really toying with the idea of a Switch for Christmas for yourself. Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming you'd probably look at picking up a bit of Smash Brothers Ultimate in the near future after grabbing it, maybe. Who would you main? Or who did you used to main in your Smash days?
I used to love playing as Link. I used to really enjoy playing as Fox and as Pikachu. I played the first one a lot. Like, it was the one game I think I played the most on the Nintendo 64. Maybe Mario Kart as well. So I played that. I love playing with those characters. I thought I was quite good. I got proved wrong recently at the AGPN meetup in Melbourne halfway through this year. I think Cruzy dominated it. But
wow.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it was a few beers in. But yeah, it was a... I would probably select one of those characters, I think. One of those original three.
Yeah, I need to get some skin in the game for this. I want to pick this up over the Christmas break and find someone to main, because at the moment I'm the definition of casual for this game, and I haven't played anyone anywhere near often enough to sort of say, yeah, I'm going to rest my hat on blah. So for now, I'll say I'll main Samus for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
but,
Samus is cool.
Yeah,
She
but
has
we'll
an outfit that's like, whoa.
exactly. So, but yeah, watch this space. Maybe we'll get some little tourneys going in the near future if our plans align.
Maybe.
Yeah. Brendan, what have you been playing?
Not a huge amount this week. I don't want to deep dive in either of these any more than we already have over the last month. A bit more Red Dead Online. Still all right. Still in that beta stage. So I'm just waiting now to see it transition into a full release and get more things to do. Because, yeah, the missions that you get at the moment, they are very, very similar in a lot of ways. So give me some heists, give me some train robberies, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we dove into a little bit of Fallout 76. After lodging my request with Bethesda directly to get my new canvas bag in 2019,
Nice.
I thought, you know what, let's jump back in and keep building our dream house on the cliffs of West Virginia. So we've been dabbling with that. Just sort of put wood floorboards all through the house, put some carpet in there in some of the bedrooms. Mate, it is looking as cozy and friendly and warm a residence you will find in this game. So we're pretty proud of what we're building there. We'll keep dabbling with that. But
sounds like The Sims.
Yeah, but just with more room for violence. These super mutants, they just keep on coming, but my friendly gun turrets, they keep them at bay. So, yeah, we'll see. But that's me. What about you, Dream?
Yeah, probably similar to you. I don't want to deep dive too much on these. I'm still playing Total War Britannia. I'm still absolutely loving conquering the British Isles. I'm having so much fun. I'm having too much fun. I'm at war at the moment with like Northumbria, which is this huge faction north of my country, and then there's another huge faction south, which is Wessex. And I'm kind of about to go to war with both of them, and it's just this like crazy situation where like every single turn I'm constantly waiting for something to go wrong, because inevitably I'm going to have like a bunch of armies on my doorstep, or there's going to be like some kind of rebel army forming in one of my provinces where, you know, they're all just really unhappy. Everyone's unhappy with me. My statesmen are trying to stab me in the back. I've got enemies at every gate. What's the saying? Enemy at every corner or whatever. I don't know. Enemies everywhere, and I'm somehow keeping my head above water. So I'm still enjoying it. I think I've smacked like another 15 hours into it since last week. So
damn,
it's been good. The other thing I've been playing, Hearthstone's single player content came out this week for the latest expansion, Rustican's Rumble. It's very similar to the last few solo campaigns in that you have like 8 matchups, and you build this deck that breaks all of the sort of normal deck making rules, so you can get more than 2 copies of a card. There are sort of special cards in there, and there are also these shrines you get. So whatever class you play, you have a special shrine. It has a power, and you can use that power and build a deck around that power to sort of win games that you wouldn't normally be able to win normally in like, you know, normal matches in ranked or otherwise. I have to say, I'm not really enjoying this as much as I did the previous expansions. It seems to be either incredibly easy or incredibly difficult, depending on what RNG has, offered you, or what cards you've been offered. Sorry, it's all random. There's no middle ground though, and if you don't get any of the sort of game-breaking mechanics and the cards that really synergize well with that, it can just be like long and tedious. I think they've done a better job of balancing solo content in the past. This doesn't feel balanced at all. And also, like, even the AI, playing against AI, the way they play their own cards, they don't do that in a logical order. So they could be playing things to be much more efficient, and they're not. And it just makes you feel like, well, what's the point? If they're not going to be the best they can be, then am I actually really winning anything here? Or am I just beating like an easy mode opponent? It just doesn't feel very rewarding.
Blizzard are getting a bit lazy, huh?
Yeah, and I think that's the most disappointing part. It's a Blizzard, it's a Blizzard game, Blizzard content. They're renowned for the polish that they put into everything. It seems really sloppy by their standards. So I'll still keep playing it just to play it out and try and get a win with every class. But I'm not really enjoying this one too much.
It's a shame.
That's me for the week.
Well, shall we pivot our way into what all the listeners
The
have
tradition
done
of
for?
Festivus begins with the airing of grievances.
So we're going to open up with probably the biggest heavy hitter of our airing of grievances. We're going to be talking about the biggest gaming disappointment of 2018. And because we are a show of the people, we will start with the audience's feedback first. We had a few come our way, so we'll deep dive on some when required, but others we'll just sort of list them off, acknowledge them, and then keep on keeping on, so this doesn't become a 6-hour-long episode. But our boy Cruzy_mate, one that I didn't even think of until he mentioned it, his grievance, no play clock in Red Dead Redemption 2. So this comes for a lot of those completionists and probably trophy chasers and things where they can say, okay, I have played exactly 75.24 hours as Arthur Morgan out in the Wild West. So that is his grievance. Minor, but I can sort of say, yeah, I acknowledge that. Random Sidekick says, Blizzard putting Heroes of the Storm on life support.
Yeah, that's a new one.
I've got no real skin in the game on that one, so I don't know any of the backstory on that.
They even cancelled the comps.
I wonder why.
I have no idea.
Because clearly they're not too busy putting polish on fucking Hearthstone, so what else are they doing?
Little side stab there.
Oh yeah, wherever we can. Our boy Sammy Deej, 3 words: Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah.
I had to look back on this because I thought maybe it was out last year, but it did come out in February of this year, and I know it's probably a bit hazy in all our memories because it was very appalling. We wanted to forget about it as soon as we could.
I remember it being bad. I remember that.
Did you ever play it at all, Dream?
No. I was just going to say, I know Michael from Reset was also really disappointed with this. I think of Michael anytime I hear Metal Gear in the same sentence, even if it's not next to each other. He was very heartbroken by this, I remember. So I totally understand this grievance, Sammy. I definitely understand this one.
Yeah, I do roughly remember the Reset episode where I think it was purchased and subsequently returned in the span of maybe 24 hours. Yeah. So, yes, Konami, fuck you for further urinating on this beloved franchise, and it probably will not be the last time.
Probably.
So the next gaming disappointment is a little audio sting from our friends at Good Pop Bad Pop podcast, and we'll let it play right here.
Hey Hungry Gamers, you are with MNT from Good Pop Bad Pop, and we have some grievances to air. Don't we, T?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, first of all, you know what really bounces my baubles?
What?
I love Detroit. I love it so much. But Connor drives me mad. He's such a droop. And you know what the worst part is how he died. My Connor, he got run over by a tractor in a cornfield. And it was so stupid, and I was just enraged by it. And also I didn't like Marcus. What are your grievances?
You know what topples my tree?
What topples your tree?
Peter Parker, what's the deal with the backpacks? Why do you have so many backpacks? Why do you keep losing the backpacks? Did you buy them in bulk? Do you just keep going back? What's the deal? They cost a lot of money. You're always poor in all the movies and all the video games. You never have enough money. It's because you're wasting it on backpacks. That's why Mary Jane keeps dumping you. You're a financial risk, and it topples my tree.
God damn it, Peter Parker. You know what's really crunching my candy cans about Spider-Man? Is that, Fisk was in the first 10 minutes and then that was it. And he's a really big bad, we love him. And that was like basically it. I mean, it sort of comes up a bit later, but, I feel like I needed more from that, and that really annoyed me. You know what else tangles my tinsel?
What?
The accounting department at Telltale Games. What the fuck are you actually doing? I am now never going to get Wolf Among Us 2, more Tales from the Borderlands. I'm missing out on all these Guardians episodes. I am pissed off. Sort your shit out in the past so I can get my games. Thank you very much, Hungry Gamers, for letting us air our grievances.
Happy Festivus.
So, I agree wholeheartedly, especially on the backpack gate from Spider-Man. 64 backpacks, if I remember right, from my time in that. Like, what are you trying to hide, Peter Parker? Like, what is going on? One big rucksack and just carried around town. Like, what in the hell?
Can I say that I think the wall running mechanics in Spider-Man really made the backpack finding so much more difficult than it needed to be. They would hide backpacks in very delicate spots on the walls, and you'd have to obviously get close to it to touch it and to interact with it. It took me fucking ages to get some of those backpacks.
Yeah. I found the hardest ones were ones where they were sort of in a cutout in a multi-rise building where you'd sort of, if you're scaling from the bottom, you'd have to stop and then cut under the alcove to get to the next little chunk. They were the ones that really grinded my Spidey gears. And shout out to the reference with Detroit Become Human, by the way. One of the best games of 2018. My goodness, that hit me in the feels.
Still haven't finished it.
I was just about to ask. I'm going to add that to the grievance list right now. You haven't finished that.
It's an evolving list.
Yes. Miss Hart, did you want to lead us off on your biggest gaming disappointment of 2018?
Yeah, see, I don't know if I'm going to get reprimanded for this one because it's a grievance for a game that I didn't purchase, but I guess my grievance is so valid that I did not buy it. Fallout 76 is my gaming grievance. When this one got announced, I remember actually getting very excited. I've never played a Fallout game, so when they kind of sold this online atmosphere, I really got excited, and I don't know if it's a case where maybe I painted a picture in my head on what I thought the game was going to be, but it definitely did not pan out that way at all. And then it came out to really bad reviews. It came out to this whole barren landscape. I get it, it's an apocalyptic world, so it should be a bit barren, but then the whole idea that you could only play it with your friends and enjoy it with your friends, it really, really bothered me, and I ended up not buying the game. I actually remember feeling really disheartened that the game that I was actually looking forward to this year just didn't come to be, although it made it easier, picking up Red Dead, so that was good. But I can appreciate what the community has done for Fallout 76, like a lot of people that have taken on like the NPC roles, that you would expect in this game that we didn't end up getting. So they try to make the game a bit more appealing to new players. But in all honesty, Bethesda really dropped the ball, in my opinion. And I was going to say, don't start me on the bag issue as well. So that's my gaming grievance this year.
Dream, do you have anything to add about the Fallout 76 being mentioned in here?
Yeah, I guess I do. Probably similar to you, Ali. I actually didn't really feel too pumped for this. I was very hesitant about Fallout 76. I'm not a huge fan of the series, but also, again, I just think ESO was not necessarily a particularly good game. Different developer, but similar concept, taking, one of their great IPs and turning it into an MMO. I don't know why they would go this way. I feel like there's such great story games, and MMOs don't typically have great stories, really. Even Blizzard are just bastardizing Warcraft lore to try and get a story to continue the series.
Would you say they're trying to get blood from a Hearthstone?
Boo.
I'm gonna write that one down. Yeah, as not as a grievance, as a bonus, as a plus. So blood from a Hearthstone, nice one. All right, mate. That's all I have to say on the matter.
I'm with you guys. Like, obviously, you both know that I obtained a copy or purchased a copy of the Power Arm edition for a hefty price of $300 Australian. The helmet does still look very nice on the shelf over my right shoulder here, but my nylon bag, I'm pretty sure I used it to shit and then wipe my ass with the other day. So hurry up with my canvas bag. But yeah, like I'm big on Fallout, and Todd Haley certainly sold the dream at E3 to me. I sort of gobbled that dream up and was excited for this big open world, living, breathing Fallout MMO. But as you two both nailed, like there's no real heart and soul to it. Like the fact that the stories are getting told from either robots or holotapes, like the world leaves so much to be desired, and the only joy I'm really having from this game at the moment is building this post-apocalyptic dream house or just roaming the Badlands with people online that I know. Like playing this game solo, at least for my gaming tastes and preferences, would be an absolute dud. So unless I've got someone to jump online with, I'd never touch this game. So Yeah, I'll give marks to that. But my biggest gaming disappointment of 2018, it's funny because I enjoyed it, but Sea of Thieves is the game I wanted to bring to light here. Had a lot of fun playing with yourself, Ali, and NATO, and Rach, and Benny, and Seppi, and a whole host of other swashbucklers that escaped me. And Rare have supported this game very well, and a lot of free content, but the world that they're building looks great on the surface. It's got a nice distinctive art style. The water effects are second to none. But below those waves resides this hollow, repetitive, wishy-washy, really light-on game that outside of sinking some ships together and singing sea shanties, you are left wanting more. I know I haven't played the latest DLC, but I was a pretty big supporter and was sort of jumping in day one on all the other prior releases. But yeah, it just left a lot to be desired when these new DLC chunks came out, and it was go to this island and find this diary. Now go to this island and find that diary, and then okay, cool, that DLC's over, and then rinse and repeat in the next ones. It was just very in poor taste for me. And to make matters worse, obviously on the back of the Game Awards the other week, the studio behind Ark have announced Atlas, which looks like a Sea of Thieves killer. And it's actually entering early access on Steam in like 3 days' time.
Really?
December 20th, it comes out on early access on Steam. So it's coming out
sign
before
up for
Christmas. And yeah, I can't wait to play that with you guys because it looks like there's so much to do in that game. And everything I think we hoped Sea of Thieves to be, and it may become that. It is sort of that games of a service type of mold, which will live and evolve over the next few years. But I think it will continue to lose its market share outside of being a free, Xbox Game Pass title. So
yeah, that's an interesting observation. That its strength is that it is games as a service.
Yeah. Oh, and one last thing I wanted to bring to light as far as the disappointment was Supermassive Games. They released 2 games into the VR genre, PlayStation 4 exclusives in the Inpatient and Bravo team. Both were absolute fucking duds. So I'm hoping that going back to their more traditional horror roots with like an Until Dawn sort of vibe with the Dark Pictures mythology, which starts next year, gets them back on the right track. So
cool.
Prove me right, Supermassive, please, because I love what you did with Until Dawn.
Cool. I guess it's my turn. I have a really great eye for bad games. And as a result, I don't fucking buy them. And I don't play them. And that's kind of my bullshit way of walking into this, saying that I haven't actually been terribly disappointed with any of the games I've played in 2018 that have been released in 2018. But when I think about my biggest gaming disappointment this year, it's not necessarily about a game that I think didn't deliver. It's about a game that I really wanted to experience that I was just too late for. And that game was Monster Hunter World. And the reason this is here is because this took me, I think it was released, and then 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, I was looking to actually finally buy it. And everyone who had owned it, who had been talking about it, about singing its praises, about how amazing it was now no longer fucking playing the game. And that was hugely disappointing to me because it's such a, it's a big MMO. It looked cool. It looked great. And I just, by the time got off my ass to buy it, realized that there probably wasn't any of my friends in there anymore, and that it would not necessarily be the experience it could have been for me on day one.
I remember that hype.
Yeah, so bit of a grievance on that game, bit of a grievance on me not being quick enough to adapt, and a bit of a grievance on everyone else for, leaving things so quickly.
Can't leave something you didn't buy.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
I'll wear a bit of that grievance because I know I was on this podcast singing its praises. Came out, I think it was late Jan, if I remember right. It came out late Jan, and I think by, sorry for the laugh, but Salim the Dream is drinking out of a giant vase of water. Like, it's not even a glass. It is like a vase or an urn or something, but it is mighty impressive.
It's a Makona coffee jar that is empty and has water in it. And I did this on purpose because I don't have a cup big enough to hold the water that I need to consume to live in this fucking hot bedroom that I live in right now, that I can't have a fan or an aircon unit turned on in because we're recording. So
I'm with you.
Purpose fit for this room.
The dedication and the pride I feel going to war with these two in these harsh environmental times knows no bounds.
Hey, what's the temperature over there for you, Brendan?
It's a nice cool 18 degrees with the aircon whirring slowly, but I'll put it lower to sort of feel cold so I can feel something with you guys as you combat that 40 odd degrees or whatever in the bedroom.
It's like 35 degrees outside and 45 degrees in my room. Don't ask me how.
There's science there somehow. But no, I'm with you, Dream, on Monster Hunter World. Like I dove in pretty hard on it, hunted a lot of monsters. But the grind in that game was very, very, very freaking real. Like, that was another one where you got to be all in on. You can't just be a casual hunter of monsters, I found. I think you had to be committed in at least the short to intermediate term and, like, chuck a couple of months solid into it to get the gear to fight those sort of end monsters. But it just was too daunting for me. But the game's still living on, and we're seeing freaking Dante and Mega Man and Ryu and Aloy from Horizon in there, and even Geralt from The Witcher's making an appearance soon. So they're still supporting it. Like, Capcom's doing good, but it's definitely a diehards title. It's not a casual hunter of monsters title, I'm assuming. Anything you want to add, Miss Hart, before we shift into our next grievance?
No, I just want to say that I never picked up that game because it didn't really seem appealing to me, and I'm glad that no one peer pressured me into that one.
I was going to say there wasn't enough titties and cooking, but there was a lot of cooking. No, not really titties, but there was a lot of cooking from some cute cats. You had like a little cat restaurant you'd go to get your buff meals before you went out to battle, and that was pretty adorable.
Yeah, it might have not been titties and cooking, but at least you got some pussy and cooking. Oh!
Hey-ya!
Oh.
Badum tush.
I'm writing that one down. That's a bonus point for you.
We're not going to end with grievances.
All right. Yeah, kudoses. Kudai? How do you pluralize kudos? Kudo?
Kudai.
Kudai?
Yeah, you had it right the first time. Kudai.
Yes. That's another point for me. The biggest grievance within the industry. So we will go to the audience first. And the first grievance comes by way of Jenny Picard, 18. And the grievance reads, how about the hundreds of hours of overtime these game developers are taking to ensure their games get released, ready, on time, and then in brackets, see Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh.
That was a big controversy, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Did we get any clarity on that? Because there was a lot of back and forth where it was like, some people were, not working those hours. Some people electively took those hours. Some people were paid for those hours. Some people were not. I don't even know if we actually ended up getting any major clarity on those.
I think it was very wishy-washy. There was a bit of like broad stroke sales speak that sort of just said enough for the mass audience to go, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. And then done.
I'll accept that.
Little magic trick and he's gone. Yeah, but no, that crunch in this industry is very real, and yeah, it sucks. Hopefully, they can regulate that a little bit more or unionize it somehow. But sadly, especially with a lot of these AAAs, I think we're going to continuously see this occur on these big games with this crushing ambition that they've got to try and meet. Yeah, so it's probably not going to be the last time we hear of stories like this.
Yeah. I don't know that I hate this necessarily. We talked about this on the podcast, and I think it's a balance. You're either going to be unhappy because they're working too much or unhappy because the game's delayed. And everyone does overtime, and when I do overtime, I don't necessarily care that I'm doing overtime. I don't mind. It sounds weird if you don't give a shit about your job, but if you actually do, and I think a lot of the people working on a game like Red Dead would, you want to get it right. So you want to make sure it's good. They obviously are very much enjoying the fruits of their labor. I would love to have on my CV that I was X on the production of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Award-winning game.
Yeah, so anyway, all right.
You know who don't probably put in overtime? The developers of Hearthstone.
Yeah, the sons of guns. It hurts me to talk shit on Blizzard, but far out, I hate this solid content at the moment. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
Hearthstone are the John Farnham of episode 132. I'm going to try and weave that in wherever I can.
You son of a gun.
All right, so the next one from the audience and from the fam. The Spawny 13, Benny McJanet. He says online games with lack of launch content, for example, Sea of Thieves, Fallout 76, etc., etc. So 2 games, obviously, we both grieved about in the previous segment, and I'm with you. Like these games that sell the dream and you buy it. Like you think back, Street Fighter 4 a couple of years ago. Remember when that came out and it was bloody no single player and it was coming in later via a downloadable patch. But you have to buy these games at the full price and almost just trust the developer and the publisher to sort of meet those expectations or wants. I'm with you, Benny. I'm with you.
Yeah, like you could like say that the developers are being a bit like, cheeky in the set. Well, Fallout, who knows? But like maybe Sea of Thieves, who were very community based and very community focused. Maybe they felt like releasing minimally and then building bricks on top of that way was maybe an approach that they were taking. But no one wants a half cooked game. So,
Dream, anything to add?
Nope. You guys have said it all.
All right, so moving on to Zombies Love Bacon. Damn straight they do, because bacon is the magical meat. Games like Battlefield 5...
I'm writing that down, Brendan. That's another mark against you.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Games like
Bacon.
Battlefield 5, Tomb Raider, and Hitman 2 that had early release dates if you pay for the $120 plus premium edition or have to wait a week to buy it at the regular price. Can we not just have a single day of release?
I forgot about this stuff.
Yeah, interesting. I like this one. I think it's interesting. It never occurred to me, but yeah, it's like, well, fuck you. Let me just play it when everyone else can play it. Don't make me wait.
And is this like under like spoiler territory as well, where it's like if a person gets to play it sooner and they just start dropping shit like earlier, that really is a disadvantage to people who might not be financially, in the position, and they get it ruined for them. Like
100%, especially like I can see it with, say, online games not being so painful, but ones that are so narrative based, like a Tomb Raider, for example. Yeah, if someone gets it on the premium elite special edition and gets it 4 days early, they finish it that day, and then they're messaging their friends or just drop it on the social saying, "Oh yeah, this is what happens at the end. Suck a D." And it's bad business.
Fucking Kingdom Hearts. Although that was more just someone got their hands on it. Little, not any premium content purchase. Someone just got their hands on it and is spoiling the shit out of it for everyone.
Yeah, so I'm with Zombies Loves Bacon on this. I think it is a bit of a cop-out where they do dangle a carrot like this to get that early access, but I guess it then ties into that whole FOMO that a lot of people feel, where they want to be first in and get that experience and be able to be there on day zero and take this journey before everybody else. So I don't know.
Yeah. I just don't think I don't think that's a way to go about it. I don't think anyone should be, just because they have more money, they get to play it first.
That's the way the world works, my love. That's the way the world works.
Society.
The 1%. Okay, so moving on. Lido, who is at Latovsky on the Twitters, card-carrying member of the hashtag 8bit Collective, as part of I Speak Giant. His grievance within the industry: every game feeling like they're meant to be investments. For me, got to buy the game, got to buy the DLC, the microtransactions, the cosmetics, etc., etc. Got to go indie to buy a game. That's just buying a game.
I cannot agree with this more, Lido. You've absolutely nailed it, my boy. Yeah, it's crazy how normal this is now. This trend of there's a game, there's, to add to this, like we were just saying, a collector's edition or a premium edition. And then there's DLC, there's the season pass. I think Destiny, more than anything right now, Ali, is probably a great example of this. eyes roll in the back of Ali's head.
Round one.
I like this grievance. I think this is true only because it's just games are expensive. Hey guys, games are expensive. They are. Like, just on their own, it's hard to constantly be buying more games. Like, a game a week, that's like $60 to $80 a week if you're buying AAA titles, which there's enough of them you probably could.
Too many
it's not cheap. And then if you want to play the DLC, which you will for a lot of them, it just adds up. And don't even get me started on microtransactions.
Yeah, don't get him started.
Are they a form of gambling? Are they not?
No, let's not open that can of worms again.
Yeah.
Listen to the back
Let's
catalogue
not.
for deep dives on microtransactions.
It's like a month of it.
Yeah, it was
It was
a
the end
roller
of
coaster.
last year. It was the end of last year where just every week was something new about micros.
But yeah, I don't have anything else really to add to what you and Lito said there. It's very true. Like, you want that purchase price to be the total cost of ownership for a product. You don't want to be stung with all these other little microtransactions and everything else. I think it's a cop-out. Like, I understand that these companies are trying to make money, but don't make us buy something undercooked to only make us then buy these other bits to get that full total experience. I think that's bad business, but sadly, that's probably the way the market's going to keep going.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's okay if it's a case where it's like you get the full game, and then if you want to, like, you know, extend your gameplay, maybe invest a bit more, then, you know, that's fine. But as long as you're paying for a full game the first time around, then, you know.
As the ads on the TV say about credit cards and things, you don't want bill shock. So that's what you get with these titles. All right, so moving on. Quick little audio sting coming at you right now.
Eight-Bit Nation, this is John O'Peck, host of Putting In Work, and I've got an axe to grind, and it's with all of those video games out there that force you to get online. I'm talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and anything else out there that makes you be connected to the internet when you're playing a single-player campaign. What is the deal? Sometimes my internet drops out, I'll be honest. I just moved house, I didn't have internet for more than 2 weeks, and luckily I was just playing Red Dead campaign, even though I finished it a month ago. But if I wanted to play Call of Duty Black Ops 4, I couldn't have. And that's annoying. I don't like it. Call it a grievance, if you will. Destiny 2. I was playing that by myself. I kept disconnecting. I kept getting kicked out. And I know what you're thinking. What year is it? These games both came out last year, but I only just got to them with PlayStation Plus. So give me a break, okay? I understand that's the way of the world these days, but I'm still allowed to grieve that, and I am. So here's my grievance. Cut out the online accessibility issues. If I want to play by myself because I'm sad and prefer single-player campaigns, just let me, please, developers. And don't even get me started on Fallout 76.
So, John O'Peck, at Jono himself, host of Putting In Work, his grievance, as you guys just heard, was the need or almost the acceptance to be online to play a lot of single-player games now. So his beef, especially as you heard him moving house and being technologically disadvantaged at the moment, was a big grievance. I'm with him. I think for single-player games where they force you to go online to get a day one patch to then be able to play that single-player game is a load of shit.
Yeah.
But if it is like quality of life and it is a major thing that is going to improve that experience exponentially, I get that too. But I think when you buy a game physically from a shop front, you should be able to put that disc into your disc drive and be able to play without an issue.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you two think?
Well, like, we are living, like, we're getting to a stage now where, like, gaming companies and everything are saying that we're predominantly on the internet anyway. Like, that's their assumption. Like, they're going to start, you know, veering away from physical copies. Like, that's one thing that they're talking about. Like, who was it, Xbox, that's thinking about removing the
The disk drive?
Disk drive, yeah. So they are strictly in the thought mind, like the thought process that everyone's connected to the internet. It's just a standard now. It's a staple. Everyone has internet. Everyone has functional internet. And, speaking from Australian internet user, then that's not the case. So I definitely think we're seeing just a tiny bit of, like, gaming industry being a little bit out of touch, maybe, with the common folk.
You know what I'd like to see? That just occurred to me now, like light bulb moment. Instead of discs, maybe they put games on USB sticks and you could stick them into your console and download them that way. Once it's in there, they'll unlock the stick and then you can use it to carry your general data. Win-win. Whoever gets on that, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Brendan.
Unless they're like really cool, like collectible USB sticks, like really cool designs.
You'd have a great...
That's what I mean.
Yeah, you'd have a sick... Like what? You'd need 64 gigs.
It's cheap as chips.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Pitch it. Pitch it to Microsoft, Brendan. See what they say.
Yeah, I'll give Philly Spence a call after this episode and see what he thinks.
Yeah. Got him on speed dial.
Yeah, he just never answers. That's the problem.
You're on the block list.
Dream, do you have anything to add regarding the need to be online to play offline, so to speak?
Not really. It hasn't been a terribly significant issue for me, but I do certainly understand Jono's problem. I think having moved house several times in my life and just getting internet set up, those like 3 to 5 days or 10 days, however long it takes to get internet going, it feels like the Stone Age. It genuinely feels like going back to the Stone Age. It's amazing how fucking addicted I am to the internet. So thank God for phones. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the topic of phones, I just got the Google Pixel 3 XL. Holy moly, that is a brilliant device. And I have never been happier with the mobile phone. So
Hashtag not an ad.
Hashtag not an ad. That is from an honest to goodness, real world scenario. Vouch for that, even though they did, peeling back the curtain, the Optus shop I went to and got it from, they gave me the Google Pixel case, not the Google Pixel XL case, and they also forgot to give me a SIM card. So when I got home, I had to fucking turn around and go back. So, yeah, lift your game, Optus.
Oh.
Miss Hart, did you want to give us your industry-based grievance?
Yeah, so my grievance comes from all the gaming studio closures that we've had this year, and essentially the lives that it affects. We've seen like Visceral Games, Gazillion Entertainment, Wargaming, Capcom Vancouver, and then the worst closure that was covered, which was Boss Key Productions. While there's an understanding that like most jobs in any industry, you always have a chance of just like losing your job or whatever, I just feel like the gaming industry saw so many losses, especially this year. It really makes you wonder exactly how fleeting the gaming industry is and how there is a lack of stability in that industry. And going through all the comments and all the tweets and all the articles, blogs and everything of all the people that just like suddenly lost their jobs, especially with the Boss Key Productions one, and just seeing how much it affected their lives. Like people like seriously moving like 1 week and then it's just like they've lost their job and they've got nothing, they've got no money, it's concerning. And I definitely think that the industry really needs to focus on how they handle studios, how they handle companies, and how employees get treated essentially during these moments. So luckily there was a bit of a community outreach and everyone tried to look out for each other, so we are lucky we have that. But I just feel like, especially after this year, it's just been a bit concerning.
Yeah, it shouldn't have to get to that to see the community come together type of thing. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, those stories with Boss Key and even like Telltale, where people moved country and were chasing their dream, and then a week later they're done with no severance and no insurance and everything else. It's dicey. But I don't know how you could regulate that in the industry better. It's sort of grey area for me. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to see because obviously, first and foremost, the initial thing you hear from a lot of these people out there is the fans getting upset because a game's not going to get finished or whatever, and then they take a second to think about all these other lives behind the scene, you know, which for the most part they're working thankless jobs. Like a lot of these developers and animators and everything else, they don't get the acknowledgement they deserve, and then for them to be then knocked out on the street overnight with no answer is fucking hard to swallow.
Yeah, the Telltale one was really, really bad. Seeing how the community also reacted to it was a bit disappointing. It's like, it obviously wasn't everyone, but you would see someone like writing a tweet about, you know, how they've lost their job, they've got no money, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then you just see this one comment where it's just like, I want my money back. This game isn't going to be finished. And you're like, really? Really, dude? Time and place. Time and place.
Dream, what's your thoughts?
What's my grievance?
Unless you've got any more thoughts to add to this.
I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't really have anything to add here. I think there's not really much of a solution to this particular grievance either. Companies will go under. People will be made redundant.
All right.
Such is life, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe segue us into your industry-based grievance, and then I'll wrap out this one too and move into the next.
All right.
You're gonna wrap?
So my one is, of course, about Twitch. People know who've been listening for long enough. I haven't actually harped on for a while, but yeah, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the platform itself. Now, this is not necessarily a dig at Twitch streamers currently streaming. This is a dig at Twitch. I don't think it should be considered by anybody to be a viable career decision to be a full-time Twitch streamer, and I think Twitch does absolutely fuck all to dissuade people from thinking in that way. Literally every Twitch streamer I speak to here in Australia, even incredibly successful ones, and those are very few and far between, talk about how hard it is to actually live off of a Twitch income. And I think for the thousands and thousands of people who watch Twitch streams every day, the thought goes into their head that this could potentially be a great idea for them to jump into, and we see them years later with not very many people watching and still hoping that this thing will kick off for them. And it's not to say that you shouldn't do it. It's certainly not to say that you shouldn't do it if you are passionate about gaming or just want to do it because you find the interaction and engagement fun. It's just that I feel like there is an expectation that this is viable as a career option. I think it's a huge flaw within the Twitch business model. I think that the fact that donations still go on completely unregulated is gross. It's just disgusting. And I think it's disgusting and deceitful in a couple of ways. I think some Twitch streamers take advantage hugely of their audiences. You know, you could swing a dead cat and hit 50 Twitch streamers all with the most sorry story and upbringing and mental health issues. And it's not to say that those things don't exist. It's just that it's amazing how prevalent they are within Twitch streaming. You know, it seems to attract, unfortunately, the most desperate people from desperate circumstances. Either that or they're all just full of shit. I can't tell which one it is. And I think that if Twitch did something like create their own donation function and have all donations go through the platform, and then that way it's accounted for and visible in a way that might be, I guess, a little bit more revealing, people might have different attitudes towards donations. But Twitch doesn't seem to want to do that. They like that they've got a bunch of people on there trying to make it. I just think it's seedy. So, again, not a dig at all streamers, just a dig at the ones that are not necessarily good people. I feel like you'd probably not like them anyway in real life. If you're a Twitch streamer and you're not sure if I'm talking about you, feel free to message me and I'll let you know.
It's actually pretty valid. As a person who actually is regularly on Twitch, I'm actually with you on this one, Sam, in the case that a lot of teachers that I've talked to, like people who are teachers, kids now don't have aspirations to go to college because, oh, it's okay, I'm going to become a Twitch streamer.
Yeah, it's
I'm
easy.
I'm going to become a YouTuber because apparently it's easy, you know, and that's what they think. And I think that's really concerning. I also haven't really followed up any stories. My biggest interest that I'd love to know is what happens to a Twitch streamer, like someone who maybe did start Twitch streaming when they went, like they were maybe still in high school. And then because they were semi-successful with their Twitch streaming, they decided not to study. They decided not to pick up a full-time job. They didn't, develop their skills. And then what happens when the Twitch community or their, it fades away? Like, what do you have to offer then? Like, and how do you find, like, applying for loans? How do you find applying for mortgages? Like, these are the questions that I'm very curious about, because I just don't know how much, grounding being a streamer like puts you in the world.
So I don't want to keep harping on this because we've got a lot ahead of us, but like just on this note, so Chinglish, who's a good friend of ours, is a full-time Twitch streamer, was interviewed by John O'Peck recently on Putting in Work, and on that show said he wouldn't even fucking bother trying to be a Twitch streamer in this day and age because it's so high, like so oversaturated. There's just so much there, and that people just don't understand how hard it is, even when he was starting years ago, 5 or 6 years ago now, to build a following. It's just, it's a pipe dream at best. And when it works, it's great. And congratulations to those people who build great communities. But when it doesn't, it's sad. It is sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really add anything to what you guys said. I think Dream, I'll give you full props. That's probably the best singular monologue you've done on this show that I can remember.
Thank you.
I was in complete agreement with just about everything you said, and you hit on a lot of valid notes, and same with you, Ms. Hart. I think people that want to get into that space just need to go into it with a realistic set of goals. Like, yeah, just because their idol has made it and they make it look easy, it's not. Like, you could have the best gear in the industry and the best scenes and transitions and everything else, but if you don't have a personality that people will gravitate towards or whatever it might be, or you're just unlucky and it doesn't land for you, you need to have a plan. You can't, be 14, 15, 16, going through high school going, Mum and Dad, look at the money in the gaming space. It's $1 billion industry. I can take a slice of that. Yeah, you need to think your life out. You got to look at this as a hobby. You lock in your 9 to 5 and then do this outside of that. And that's the biggest bit of advice that I could give or want to try and declare. And that's not just to video streamers or content creators, podcast, anything. Sportsmen, whatever. Like, be real about it. Like, it's until you have a contract written in ink showing you're on a 12-month term getting a fixed salary or whatever. It is just a hobby until that day changes. So be real with yourself and your family and your loved ones. Just because people make it look easy, there's a lot of work and like a little sprinkle of luck that goes into it too. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, be smart about it.
Brendan, what is your grievance?
Well, strap on in. I wanted to bring to light battle royales. And sure, in this day and age, they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. But on that, I call bullshit. And I am heaping that big pile of bovine feces right on top of the entire Battle Royale genre. Enough already. A lot of people do care about Fortnite, but for the vast majority, no one cares, myself included. Fortnite has become the Vladimir Putin of video games. You can't overthrow it. It's not going to happen. If you even get close and there's a chance, he might have you killed due to fear of you taking that mantle. Epic have got a lot of money. They'll make you disappear, so watch yourself. And furthermore, on the development front, developers stop trying to grab the low-hanging fruit. It's near unobtainable. And just because you see Fortnite, PUBG, and now COD with the Blackout franchise, Battlefield 5 with their upcoming franchise in 2019, the fact that they are printing money like there's no one's business, it doesn't mean that you're going to ascend into that 1% echelon as well. Be real. We can't go a week without seeing a server of one of these sort of offshoot Battle Royale games being switched off permanently, or tying into what Ali said earlier, studio closures on the back of failed Battle Royale attempts. Yet you guys seem to think by adding, a snowboard, a weather change. It's like the Simpsons episode with Malibu Stacy. It's like, oh, now with new hat. It's like, yeah, cool, whatever. But in this regard, no one's rushing to the shops to pay premium dollar for this Malibu Stacy with a new hat. Like, and it's terrifying. Like, I was looking on the internet today, and I found a website on nerdmuch.com, and it's highlighting 22 new Battle Royale games scheduled to come in the next 12 months alone. So please give up the ghost and instead focus all that time and money into making a new Dino Crisis game.
Well done.
I think if you suck at one battle royale game, you're probably gonna suck at all of them. Like, it's kind of just it, really.
It was interesting to note, though, that you put Blackout in there, because I remember when people mentioned that Blackout was coming out, like, oh, COD, blah, you know, it's not going to do anything, blah, 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 they're just going to add it, it's going to be a failure. It's doing well. It's actually doing really well. So, you know, I guess it's all about, like, if someone does, you know, step their toe in there, it's about how they how they make it different and how they'll appeal to the masses.
Yeah,
so.
I think it helps, you know, COD's case that they, you know, had an existing audience that just love COD.
12-year-olds.
Yeah.
What?
People who are just really, really good at slaying other people's mums. They just always seem to have a knack for it.
Yeah. But it's very true. Like unless you've got the capital and the brand recognition behind you, like a COD, no new kid on the block has next to no chance of making the kind of noise needed to obtain a community. Like, I really like Realm Royale, which I was playing for a hot minute, which was made by, I'm having complete mental blank. It was made by a pretty reputable development company, and now
the guys
I'm
that did it's the guys that did Smite, yeah.
Yeah, High-Res Studios. Studios. And that game was great, but it's such an oversaturated market, and yeah, you're not gonna make your retirement money here, developers. Like, this is gonna fade out into the ether eventually, and then there'll be a new fad. So hitching your wagon to the battle royale genre is just insane to me, and the quicker it all goes away, the better.
Hear, hear.
All right, so let's move into the biggest grievance within the community. And coming to us via the audience first, and this is a bit of an inward reflection on oneself via Dane Peavy. And he says, picking up all them new release titles through the year, but only passing a handful of them. Hashtag back catalogue, hashtag out of control.
Yep. Way too many games, though. That's not our fault.
And I'm with Dane 1,000,000% there. Like, I've got a fair few titles in that list. Or not that list, but in, you know, the purchases over the year, or free codes that I had full intention of playing and covering, and yet I haven't even popped the plastic on them or installed the key. It's just, time is a finite resource these days.
Yeah, it is, and it never ends. You've got to pick your battles. That's the only way to do it.
Yeah, but like, and then in saying that, I've been the one that's always playing the same ass game. Yeah, there's a bunch of new games out there, but sometimes after a long ass day of work, I don't want to learn a new game. I don't want to think, oh, that was a bad pitch. But that's why I play Destiny. I just want to pick up a game, play it for a bit, and put it down, but still get the satisfaction of playing a game.
You want that comfort
Give me that
food.
Comfort food.
Hey! Look at us. Look at us. All right.
Points for you and points for me. Okay, so the next one comes via way of Roger Brassey from the Button Mash podcast. And his grievance is tied to hate trains on social media. Not healthy for our scene in any way whatsoever.
Hey. Yeah.
It's 100% true.
Yeah. The pile-on mentality has no place in this scene, in any scene. It's disgusting. And the cyberbullying that comes from all this is just toxic and needs to be eradicated, but I don't know how. But yeah, it's not needed. Be better. Be better people.
Yeah. For the love of God. Actually, that kind of statement kind of links to my grievance within the community. I wanted to point out that there is a difference between being unhappy with a game or a company and giving criticism and, you know, being constructive in your feedback, and then the difference between that and sending out fucking death threats to people.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you people? Seriously. I just don't understand our community, that side of the community where they just feel absolutely justified to do, these are like criminal acts. Like, sending a death threat to someone is a friggin' criminal act. And I kind of wish that there was a way to make people, you know,
accountable.
Exactly. And that's the part where I just don't understand. Everyone's allowed to hate stuff. We all do, you know. We have this podcast where we talk about things that we don't like, or companies we don't like, or consoles we don't like. But not one of us goes out there and attacks the actual, you know, creators and devs and companies. We wouldn't even think about doing that. And if we were given the opportunity to give that feedback, it would be constructive feedback. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be a stupid death threat. It wouldn't be, you know, sending a hate mob onto them. You know, it's just the stupidest thing that I just don't understand. It's high school, it's primary school. I don't get it. And on top of this, I also want to say I fucking hate swatting. Especially there was a death recently because of swatting. So
what?
Yeah. So someone swatted someone's house, and what happened? I think there was actually an error. They got the wrong house, and they went to a neighbor, and then the swatting team. There was like a misunderstanding and everything, and the swatting team actually shot someone, and they died. So
my goodness.
Oh god.
Yeah. So
I hope he or she that triggered that call spends a lot of time in jail.
I think he's currently going through trial, and I think he's getting his case. I think he's guilty as fuck. So I think he's going to jail.
Yeah,
about to become someone's princess, Princess Peach.
Yeah, no, that's 1,000,000% bang on the money. Like, constructive criticism is the key term here. Don't be dickheads for the sake of being dickheads.
It's weird that gaming's really the only art form where this is even a problem. You don't see movies like getting death threats. You know, you don't see musicians.
Oh yeah, some of the people from Star Wars definitely.
But you get that. Oh yeah.
That character, she had to leave Instagram because she was getting so many death threats. So,
yeah, I guess you're right.
It's a, like, I think it's, I hate using the term, but the fanboy mentality where, you know, where someone's so in love and, you know, so absorbed in something so much that they just feel like that they have the right to just attack to anyone that is associated with it, that they feel like it's their fault. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I probably thought about sending Shane Black after The Predator was released a few angry emails, but you know what? Be better. Just
be better.
Keep that frustration internally and unleash it in video games.
That's what they're there for.
Big dog.
Yeah. So my grievance tied into the community is about the constant circle jerk, which is running rampant across all aspects of the video game population. Whether it be blind loyalty to content creators, and that ties into, you know, we're all human and yes, we make mistakes, but the fact that these people stand by or blatantly defend content creators, both male or female, where they're being racist, sexist, bigoted, whatever it might be, just generally disgusting behavior, but the fact these people stand by them blindly and try and vouch for them is just not healthy. These people, you know, you shouldn't idolize these people. They're human beings, just like you and me. But the fact that they get this sort of elevated respect and not a free pass, but they get more of a benefit of the doubt because there is that celebrity attached to it with some of the bigger names that just keep getting, you know, oh, that's PewDiePie just being racist again. He's all right, you know, like, I know that's really sort of narrowing it down, but that's almost how it is, you know. If you saw like the gentleman that did the very controversial video with Red Dead 2, where he sort of dragged the suffragette behind the horse and beat her up and fed her to the alligator, and you know he was banned off YouTube within seconds with that flooding around the internet. Yet you see people like PewDiePie and Jake Paul and people like that, where they just get a warning or a slap on the wrist for doing very, very, very apprehensible things, and it really pisses me off. And sort of pivoting, I guess, more broad strokey with the whole circle jerk thing, seeing content creators selling their, you know, in quotes, opinions to companies to provide false positive reports on games and products, being dishonest for a buck, that really grinds my gears.
Yeah. It's that they're not journalists at all. So, and like neither are we, sure, but we know that there's an ethical line there. Where, you know, you should have some kind of integrity, and you should like, even if you're being paid and you don't love the game, you don't pump it up, and you say right at the top, this is a paid this is a paid review or whatever the fuck you should say, just to make it really clear. Like again, Fallout 76. Hey-o.
There was a few people pushing that one.
Yeah.
You know what? I am totally on this, especially with content creators, where attacking each other, and then the difference between truth and my truth. And then, so just because content creator B says this about content creator A, it has to be true, and then that sort of vicious cycle starts. And
it's very dramatic. It is very dramatic sometimes.
It can look very dramatic, but then depending on the content of the lie or what's being said about like the person, people cause like bodily harm, they get depressed, they suicidal, they leave the platform because they might be getting bullied. That's something I'm unfortunately seeing a bit more, actually. I usually think that my feed is pretty good with the people I surround myself with, but I'm slowly seeing it a bit more, and yeah.
It's not good. Our industry is very much built around man children and women children, and that's the biggest problem, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What about you, Dream? What's your community-based grievance?
I'll keep it like real short and simple, because I think we've kind of covered this one. I think, I feel like we're all a bit knee-jerky. And kind of thinking about this a little bit more, it's like, this isn't really my real grievance. My real grievance is there's no one out there that's fucking decent at Tekken. Everyone's rubbish. and no one plays it. Like, none of you sent out open challenges to me or anything. I think like at best, Dash threatened to put together a tournament once and never followed through with it. So that's my other grievance with the community. Dash, if you're going to do something, fucking go ahead and do it. Set it up. Let me murk all of you. Sit on my throne for a night and just enjoy the taste of victory.
I'll say one thing on that. I did beat you at Tekken Tag at Spawn Point one night.
I think it was Tekken 1 or something. I don't know.
It was Tekken Tag.
Okay.
Brendan
all right, Brendan.
remembers.
Mate, it's on now. Fuck.
Oh yeah.
I'll buy
we'll
you
get
the
a
game.
tourney going.
I'll buy you the game, mate.
All right.
Anyway, no, I have really nothing further.
All right, so moving into our final grievance of the episode, and this is the biggest grievance within the Hungry Gamers and the audience. Jamie Penning comes at us first, and he says, "Yes, I have one. I think you guys have been a bit harsh this year on Nintendo.
What?
Sure, nothing will beat 2017, but they have done pretty decent this year. It's pretty hard to back up after Mario and Zelda, but there have been some solid releases this year on Switch ports or new titles." Can I jump in first on this one?
Sure.
Jamie, put the bong down, please, because this is so far from the truth. I think the Switch had a better 2018 than 2017 because I could only give about half a rat's ass about Zelda, as everyone knows. Mario Odyssey is great, but you think of the titles that dropped this year for the Switch, and it was a stabilizing year for the platform, and 7 million titles were released on the Nintendo eShop. Mario Tennis came out, Mario Party, Pokemon Let's Go dropped recently. Things like Celeste found their way on there. Doom got ported there. I think it was a great year for Nintendo. So I don't know if this was meant to be sent to another podcast. Maybe the House of Mario were beefing on 2018, saying 2017 was a better year, but I'd actually say this year would be for Nintendo.
Yeah, I know for me, the Nintendo Switch is the best console because PC is dominant and it's not a console. So I am 100% backing the Switch. I have enjoyed many indie games that I have found on the Switch Nintendo eShop. There are some great ones out there. There are some weird ones out there. So A+ from me. And as I mentioned earlier on, I'm currently playing Smash, which is fucking fun as. So yeah, got my vote for the Switch.
Dream, maybe you were throwing the hatred towards Nintendo this year.
No,
Was it you?
I don't believe it was me, and I certainly don't feel any ill feelings towards Nintendo. I don't obviously have a Switch. I've made that clear many times. But I am a contrarian, so for the sake of it, I'll just say fuck Nintendo. I don't want to switch. I certainly don't appreciate their IP, their games, they're hacky. And Jamie, I'm sorry you feel that way, but it's just how I feel.
You know who I reckon it would have been?
What?
Who guested on a couple of episodes this year? It was probably NATO J that was probably throwing this terrible hate speak around on Nintendo.
Jamie.
And conveniently, he comes at us next. Also, now known as I Know NATO on the social medias. Funnily enough, there is still an iTunes review by a username I wish I didn't know NATO, which still humours me so much. But his grievance is steal a holiday from a better TV show. So he's throwing shade on us for liking Seinfeld. Do one of you guys want to lead off this counter argument?
I don't know. You know, I've always questioned NATO's taste. I've always questioned it.
He has none.
He has none. And it all comes back to like when he said that the first 2 generations of Pokemon sucked and the third one was the best one. Like, that's the caliber of person we're talking about here. Who doesn't love Seinfeld?
Oh, I don't.
What?
Yeah, I actually don't like Seinfeld.
I'm writing that down.
-5.
Big time.
I've tried to watch Seinfeld before, and I get why I don't like it, but the problem is that why I don't like it is the comedy from it, and I can't grab onto it. It's kind of like how I'm very, very delicate with Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, I hate the main characters. Like, the main characters are douchebags. Like, they're annoying, and it frustrates me. But I get that that's the comedy of it. I just can't wrap my head around it. But then I like It's Always Sunny,
Brendan,
so I don't know.
Brendan, what's the deal with all these people not loving Seinfeld?
I have no idea. I need a Serenity Now sort of voice, sort of soundbite just overlaid repeatedly right now through this part of the episode. Seinfeld is a gem.
Larry,
it was just about perfect television for its day, and the fact they went out on a high, no matter how much money they've had thrown at them to do a reunion and all that, they've said no. Like, it's a testament to Jerry and Larry David and the crew, and obviously racist Kramer, which we've since seen at one of his stand-up comedy acts, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, I don't know. The problem with this is NATO would probably say steal a segment from the latest live-action remake of The Tick, which he made me watch a few episodes when he beautifully surprised me, as well as a lot of you other sexy legends did, for my birthday in July. I sort of stupidly gave him the television remote and said, put on something. He's like, I'm going to show you this. It's the best. And he made me sit and watch a few episodes of The Tick on Amazon Prime.
The new one.
And it was downright atrocious.
The new one.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't watched it, but I did watch the original live-action Tick, and that's great.
Yeah, that had bloody Patrick Warburton, or however you say his surname in.
Yeah, I think
who
so.
actually was Putty on Seinfeld. So
I know. I just realized that was that connection there.
Yeah. So NATO, come on. If you're going to throw shade like this, at least reference another show with a equally brilliantly themed holiday that we could potentially play off.
Hopefully, it's some hentai thing.
Oh yeah, there'd be sort of some airing of busty grievances out there that we could probably work in.
Hell yeah.
The next one comes via way of Jay Clark. This is a straight shot at you, Dream. Salim, enough with the coasting and cheating. Sure, it's on brand, but maybe look at a 2019 rebrand? ?
You know what I love the most about this guy? Jay Clark. I've gone onto his Twitter. I'm petty. I've lurked his Twitter. He's not following me. So obviously this is genuine. He doesn't like me. You know what, Joe? That's all well and good. I would actually direct this at Brendan, who did not clearly explain the rules of the game. And all I was doing was working within the parameters that were set as far as I was aware. So I respect that you thought that I was cheating, but really it has to be a rule violation in order to be, considered cheating, I think. In terms of the coasting, I believe you're referring to the second time I won Who Am I, when I became the champ. And you're upset because Ali fucked it up and said the game name, not the character name. And I can't help that. There's nothing I can do to stop that. Again, I was operating within the boundaries that were set at the time we were playing Who Am I? So, you know what, Joe? I feel you, and I'm sorry that you feel like I've been consistent with our brand, which is also apparently all about cheating and coasting. It's probably a fair criticism most months of the year. But you know what? If I'm ever down at Myrtle Beach, I'll have a beer with you and we can have a chat about it further.
I think that was a pretty solid rebuttal. We won't add too much to this because obviously we've got our own individual grievances that we want to share to the audience shortly. But the next one comes via way of Groovy Ninja YT. Is someone I've actually met through Rach. And he's taken a shot at me directly. And he's saying, until I play Diablo, I cannot call myself a gamer.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's justified, but I play a lot of games. Sadly, Diablo is not one of them. I think I've probably read the tea leaves a while ago on this and actually seeing Blizzard's lack of care for their games, which is running rampant in Hearthstone now that we can see. It's probably justified why I haven't played Diablo, because I don't want to get hurt by, a half-baked video game. Maybe that's the reason.
Wow. Well, by this standard, then I'm a gamer times 3, because I've bought Diablo 3 times now.
Can I have one of those times 3s? So you can be gamer times 2 and I'll be a gamer times 1. Can you pass some of that gamer cred over to me?
I think you can have my Xbox version if you want.
Nice.
I want to
look good on my Xbox One X.
I want to slap down this polish talk, Brendan. This shade you're throwing over Blizzard, because Diablo is one of the most amazing franchises. Diablo 2 is an absolute goddamn classic. Diablo 3, for a game where there's no money coming into it aside from the purchases, and I think there's a couple of peripheral cosmetics you can get. They service it fantastically. They have been ever since it was released. Yeah. It's not my favorite game, but I can respect something that I think is good. And I think that you would be surprised, Brendan, if you were rolling around with Ali, a necromancer maybe a paladin. I don't know. He looks like a barbarian kind of guy, Brendan. You typically like the warriors.
Witch doctor.
Yeah, I think you'd have a lot of fun.
I was only like 10% serious with my shade, but I had to keep with theme and brand. You brought the first, crack in the armor with Hearthstone in your opening salvo when we were talking about what you've been playing, and I've just led off the front foot with that ever since.
Well, you know what, Brendan? I take you at your word every single time you open your goddamn trap. And I can't even keep this up. I'm sorry, I'll shut up. I'm out of water now. So I ran out of water in the jar about 20 minutes ago. I'm going delirious.
Oh, no.
Dehydrating like crazy.
You need 2 jugs next time. All right, so shall we turn this shade inwards and cast these grievances at one another?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to lead this off?
Do we do this alphabetically?
Well, I've got a few. So let me not like a lot, but I got plenty. Brendan, I'll fire the first one off at you, pal.
Okay.
You recently bought a bloody slow cooker or something, right? And I never go on Twitter, like I rarely go on, but when I do, I always get caught up to date on, it shows you what should be relevant based on the people, blah, blah, blah. I spent a lot of my Sundays hungover. It's no secret. You probably tell some podcasts I'm up, some podcasts I'm down. We record on a Sunday. And I'm always starving, but I'm hungover and I'm always at threat of throwing up. And what I don't want to see is a fucking 13-hour braised meat that you've been slow cooking and throwing up on the Twitter. You're bragging. Stop bragging. I don't want to see your meat anymore. Wow.
Hashtag Brendan, stop showing your meat.
Oh my goodness.
God. Stop showing your slow braised meat.
Stop showing your slow braised. I didn't think that one through before it came out, but now it's out there.
No. And I'll just a quick rebuttal before you probably keep throwing shade at me. Us in the meat cooking biz, it's actually smoking is what we call it. It's not slow cooking. We're smoking this meat.
That's another,
so anyway.
right there's another grievance of mine. You're very lame. Okay. You smoke. You keep smoking, baby. Who's next?
Okay.
Okay, I guess I will. I'll return serve. Dream, you beautiful, unpunctual bastard.
Oh, come on.
Your fashion sense is as predictable as your attendance. And outside of your erratic arrivals, I also want to give mention to you being stuck within the Blizzard void. Applying quick math, you've played World of Warcraft and Hearthstone around 90% of the time in 2018 when we're talking about what we've been playing, trying to keep listeners up to date with the latest and greatest. And you are just wasting their valuable time, episode after episode after episode. And I'd like to end on thank you for not even joining us once on Red Dead Online after you pretty much swearing on the Bible that you'll be on there that night, the next night, the night after that. Nowhere to be seen.
Okay. All right. Rebuttal.
So, Dream, there's my grievances.
Rebuttal time. You're upset that I've been playing World of Warcraft and Hearthstone. New content came out this year. I feel like I just was doing my duty, reporting on what's needing reporting on. Neither of you play either of those games, so it's not really crossing over or saturating content. I'll also add, if I'm going to hear shit about talking about a game too much, I also want to hear you start telling Ali about Destiny. So
maybe
I better be hearing that soon. And
it's okay. I built a fucking scale for that one. I saw this. I saw that coming.
Oh, you saw this one. Yeah, Ali, trust me. I've got an interesting one later for that. And also, Brendan, on the Red Dead Redemption 2 front, you're absolutely right. And the beautiful thing is that we've still got all the 2019 ahead of us to do it. So maybe I'll learn my lesson.
Fair. Okay.
And also, fuck you.
You know what? Okay, I'm gonna go and piggyback on like Brendan's statement because he said Sam's fashion sense is like really predictable and stuff. But like my qualm with you, Sam, is every time I've seen you for the past year, you've been half naked. So I don't know what fashion Brendan's seeing you in. My grievances is the times where we set up our webcam and you think you're setting up your audio, and we just get nothing but like hairy chest on our screens because you don't notice that your chest is like right up on the webcam. So and I've got a massive screen, so I just get full on just hairy chest and nipples like right there. So
it's a recipe for disaster.
Be aware. I'm all for comfort, but I'm also for my eyesight. So
okay, I'll just take that on the chin. I can't.
Did you want to counter, Dream?
Well, yeah, I do, and it is about Destiny 2. My grievance with Ali, for all the time that she spends talking about Destiny 2, she still didn't have a high enough light level to jump into Black Armory when it dropped. What's that about?
It's fucking fair, hey? It's
Pretty
so
good.
fucking fair.
I want to be honest. I had something similar written down here, so I'm just going to scratch that from my little notes. It's been set now.
There's more notes. No, it's perfectly fair because when I do go into Destiny, I don't purposely focus on the things that actually get your light level up. I just play the same fucking thing over and over again because I enjoy it.
You're very special. You're very special.
Very, very special.
Have you got more to add to that?
Yeah, it sucks. I wish I paid more attention and actually got my light level up because now I'd be playing new content. But oh well, sucks to be me.
I had something for both of you about Who Am I, but I feel like I've kind of expressed that already. And I don't want to hear anything else about Who Am I, about cheating or anything like that. I feel like I just feel like I won that fair and square twice. And if you guys don't like it, then I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
All right.
No one's jumping on that. No, okay, all right.
No, like I don't really have any skin in the game. I'm just making a game.
I feel like you do, Brendan.
Trying to make it fair.
The first one was 100% cheating. Second one was my own.
Brendan, I feel like you could have structured the questions a bit better as well in the second one. If I'm being really honest, you kind of started easy and then went more obscure as you were talking through those questions. Yeah. Reverse order, mate.
It makes it hard, I guess, sometimes when I have to put the whole agenda together and you look at it 2 seconds before we record for the first time. So, you know, if you lighten my load a little bit, maybe I could add some more polish to Who Am I? Let's see what happens in 2019.
Sure. Yeah, I can't. I'll take that one on the chin as well.
So, Miss Hart.
All right, let's do it.
My biggest grievance is that I have no major grievance with you per se.
Oh.
But maybe I'm thinking it's more like Death by 1,000 Cuts.
Okay.
Destiny 2 Game of the Year. Righto. Hating The Last of Us. Come on now. Being punctual almost to a fault. Punctuality. Come on. There's being punctual and then there's kissing the president's ass. Come on now. Going to bed at 9 p.m. Gamers are nocturnal creatures, and us not being able to sync our schedules up and play into the wee hours pains me and no doubt a lot of us greatly.
I wake up at 4:30.
That's on you. There's nothing to do at 4:30.
I gotta go to work.
And lastly, and probably the biggest thing that is grinding these gears at the moment is you constantly berating my love of steamed buns at McDonald's.
Oh, that's my grievance for you! There's no such thing as a steamed bun!
I did this
There
today.
is,
I had
goddamn.
one today.
How was
It
it?
was great.
Yes!
It's delicious.
Stupid fucking steam bun gate. I swear to God. I swear they're just sticking it in the microwave or farting on it or getting a spray bottle and just spraying on it. What the fuck is a steamed bun?
Whatever
Who
they're
works
doing,
at
it
McDonald's?
tastes fantastic.
I've worked there, and I can tell you there's a contraption that they use that's different to whatever they use to grill the buns or
If
whatever.
it's so awesome, then why don't they do it to all buns?
Well, they do it for the filet-o-fish, and they do it for a couple other burgers. I forget. But yeah, do it on your cheeseburger. I actually wholeheartedly support this very obscure fucking decision. How did you even come up with that, Brendan?
I think I saw it on like Uber Eats one day, or when I was doing like the McDonald's self-order, you know, the big computer screen things they got out there where you can order before going to a counter now. I think I saw the option there and went, you know what? Let's give that a go. And I was not disappointed.
The only steam bun that should be around is my bare ass in a fucking sauna.
Isn't that what's almost happening right now down in Sydney? It's pretty
Yes,
hot.
it's going on right now. I'm fucking dying in here.
So my list could go on and on, but I think I'll leave it at that to avoid any more broken hearts. So, Miss Hart, that's my grievances towards you for 2018.
I hate a game and I'm not tardy, sorry. Okay, I can live with that.
Is that it? Is that all of our... I think I've got nothing further to share with the group at the moment.
Yeah, I was lovely this year, I just want to know. Every year I've been absolutely fucking horrible and really bitten down on people, but hairy nips and steamed buns are my grievance this year. So.
That's like a rap duo right there.
It is. Apart from that, I just hate that we're all separate. I kind of miss us all being together. That's my biggest grievance.
Brendan, for the next week on Twitter, you've got to be steamed buns and I've got to be hairy nips.
Okay.
Right.
I'll change my Twitter ID after this.
Love it.
Or Twitter name.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like, on a more, honest note, it is a bit shitty that we are scattered and sort of doing things from our own little pockets at the moment. I did like making that local magic in that bloody hot box in Strathfield. I thought that was fantastic. And
Plenty
even
of
stepping
steamed
back...
buns.
Oh, plenty of steamed everything there. Like, it was not a good time. And even sort of stepping further back to when we were doing it at my the office of my old employers. It was good times. It was good times. But I think we've made it work pretty well. I think the last 12 months of this, it was definitely a science that we had to try and refine. But I think we've pretty well got there, at least got there to a high-ish standard.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I agree.
I do miss your faces.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss seeing you guys all the time too. That sucks. But this is good. This has worked out. I had my doubts about this setup, but it seems to be working. And it seems to be working well, which is really, really good to see.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys wanted to say before I start wrapping up episode 133, the last Hungry Gamers episode for 2018?
Yeah. Oh, well, me personally, I just want to say thank you to all the people out there and all the listeners that kind of have actually reached out and communicated, had a discussion with me this year about anything, even if it is you want to tell me that Destiny's shit, or you want to tell me that I am a crazy person because I didn't enjoy The Last of Us. Either way, just having that communication with you guys and just having that back and forth has been really cool.
Yeah, I too will like to say thank you to everyone who listens. It's always crazy that people listen to this. It's astounding to me, but I certainly love it. Brendan always talks about, ratings and reviews being the lifeblood of it, and it's kind of true because it's the only sort of feedback we get. Otherwise, we're just talking into microphones at each other at a PC, and we don't really hear. But the feedback we get, the ratings, the reviews, the comments that Ali's talking about, really makes this all special, and it is special. And thank you for letting us do this.
Yeah, I can't really add on to either of those statements because I think it encapsulated what we all feel on the daily perfectly. So, from the bottom of my heart at least, thank you, listeners, thank you, peers, thank you, friends, family, everyone in this collective and anyone in this greater circle that we engage with. It really, really means a lot. And thanks to you two for being my best mates and bringing the fun and the laughs and the gentle jabs and everything else in between every Sunday-ish or whatever day. It looks like Sunday's fixed for the future, which is great. But can't wait to see what happens in 2019 when we come back for episode 134 of The Hungry Gamers. But yeah, much love to everybody.
And stay hungry.
And happy holidays.
And stay hungry.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.